Yeah, I saw that's it right there.
Hey man, Mark,
Yeah.
coming strong with the horns, boy.
Hey, we come in strong. It's your boy KFC. You already know we back with another one. This is episode 2, y'all. I can't believe we here. Thank you for everybody that's been
Yeah.
supporting so far, man. Episode 2, man. We talking about having faith to be able to create. First off, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, man. This episode is being powered by Prime. Prime was developed to fill the void where great taste meets function. With bold, thirst-quenching flavors to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel, Prime is the perfect boost for any endeavor. We're confident you'll love it just as much as we do. You already know who it is, man. It's KFC and Kim. You already know we rocking
Yeah.
with all the friends. Yes, sir. And I got
Big
my
back,
Prime on
baby.
deck. And I got my Prime on deck. You already know, man. So let me go ahead and let me go ahead and crack that baby open real fast. Some people
Yeah.
they think it's cap. You know what I mean? When you.
I'm gonna need one of them here, man.
Hey,
Shoot.
hey, you remember the rainbow popsicles, right? That's what
Is
these
that what
is.
that tastes like?
That's what this one tastes like. It's hidden. It's hidden. They call this one right here. Uh, this one is the Ice Pop energy drink. You know who got me hip to these?
Oh,
My son. My
oh,
son.
word.
Yeah, my son went to Zanesville this past weekend, and I guess they had him there. He came back with him. I seen him crack that baby open in the kitchen. I was like, oh. I was like, what is that? Man, I was like, let me get a sip. It was the blueberry one. Man, when I say that baby had me going to Circle K instantly, I was the first customer next in line. Not even
Well, you
gonna
got
lie, man.
yeah, I ain't even heard of that joint, man. I'm about to try one.
Not even gonna lie, man. That baby was amazing, man. What's up with you, man? How's this week been?
Not too bad actually, man. So I bought that MacBook. I took it back today, and because the new one comes tomorrow, baby. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey.
yeah, that new M3 Max. Yeah, give me the
you know
horn.
we you
Yeah,
know
that's
we
what I'm
going
talking
crazy with the horns.
about.
Yeah, bro. So tell us
Yeah,
about the new MacBook, man. For those that's out there that they kind of looking to see, I guess
yeah, man.
why they
So if
why
y'all
you raving
looking,
about it.
yeah, if y'all need more power, man, especially for you video editors out there, the M3 Max is the one I got. It'll be here tomorrow, like I said. The power on is gonna be nuts because I just took back the M2 Max, and that thing smokes. I ain't even gonna beat you, man, but I already know so that with the M3, when I had that, I'm gonna be breezing through them 4K files with the heavy effects on and everything like it's nothing. So yeah, the M3 Max is a new powerful machine, and just came out
Hey,
like
that baby
last
going
week.
crazy.
So
So
yeah,
it
it'll be
just
here.
came. It just came out.
Yeah, yeah. So
Would you
it'll be
consider
here
yourself an
tomorrow.
early adapter of most technology that comes out? You feel like you got to be like
Yeah,
the
man,
first
it's
one to
kind
have
of
it.
bad. Yeah, yeah, I am for sure. I I need to be way. I need to slow my ass down for real, man. You know what I'm saying? Because another 6 months, or they probably gonna have them on sale or something, or yeah, you know how I
You
go.
say that all the time.
I
You
know, man, but
literally
I
say
just
that
can't.
all the time.
I know, but so here's the thing, man. Because when you're working on something and you have like some little hiccups every now and then, like when you throw in heavy color grading or heavy effects on this, kind of slowing you down. So it's like, damn, so I might need to upgrade, and
Uh
that's
huh.
you know, it's like forget waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like if you got it, go ahead and go get it, man. You know it's an investment. You would get
yeah,
it back. That's
yeah,
why I kind of look at it. So
yeah.
you do
That, I
the
mean,
same thing. You do the
I,
same thing.
hey, yo, chill. This ain't about me.
Shoot, man.
we not talking about me, man.
Making
I
me
kind
sound like
of,
I'm the bad person.
nah. See, Kim is literally the first person that I know. If he's posting something on his IG, just know he got something else coming. I mean, bro, like literally, hey, he always posting something. That's because he got a replacement for it coming. He always trying to get the latest and greatest technology. That's one of the reasons why I keep you in my circle, man. You my cheat code for the system. You know what I mean? Hey, yo, so what you say you got? Yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
bro.
It's a
Yeah,
good and bad thing sometimes, man. Because it's like, man, shit, I don't need to be spending that money sometimes. But
it is, man. It is. But just thinking about all the times that we have to invest in our equipment and we really step out there far as like, sometimes man, we don't even have it, right? We really taking a chance on, this piece of equipment to kind of change my life or this piece of equipment to kind of curve the trajectory that I'm going far as like
yeah,
my film business or, production or whatever that looks like, right? Even if it's hiring assistants, even if it's getting a B shooter, a C shooter, what I mean. Sometimes that really takes faith. You know what I mean. It really does. It takes a lot
yeah,
of faith
sure, yeah,
to really see something and know and have like the faith is substance of things that's unseen, right? Like having the belief. You don't see it, right? Like I don't know that I'm gonna have a Fortune 500 company, or I don't know that I could bring in an income of $5,000 a month, right? But what I do know is I could write that vision down on a vision board, and I can literally speak to that thing daily. It's just like the same stuff that you hear people talk about. Write things on the mirror. That you may want to see in your life, or things that you want to speak into your life, because the power of life and death is in the tongue, and everything that we say is seeds that we're planting. I mean, look at the music industry. Snoop Dogg said on the Breakfast Club, he said, murder was the case. He said, I wrote that song a year before I actually had a murder case. He said, I
mm,
believe it was the pen to the pad of me writing what I had, writing that song that really came forward in my life. It came true. It literally, it took a hold of my life, and I basically told its own narrative. You get what I'm saying?
mm.
And so like making sure that we have faith, and I know that's the subject on today is having faith. Um, but having faith, what does faith mean to you when you think about being a creative, and you thinking about also just being a husband, a father? What does faith mean to you?
Shoot, to me, man, it's exactly what I envision it to be. Basically, it's if you have faith in like having a set goal on whatever it is that you want to go forward in, then I feel like you're gonna have that shoot faith, you know what I'm saying, to go in and have believing in yourself and just going in and doing it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So okay, so example, long time ago, my let's say the first wedding that I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nervous as hell. I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. You know, like it was I was asked to do it out of the blue. You
Right.
know, like yeah, I'm set on I'm good at shooting videos, whatnot, but I've never done a wedding. Like to me, a wedding now your hands is in somebody. You're like they're like what they want is in your hands at this point. So it's
Perfection,
like
because you
yeah, you
can't
know what I'm
miss
saying?
no moment.
Yeah, yep,
There's a lot of perfection that comes with that.
a lot, man. Shoot, they're trusting you with their wedding, you know. So of course I'm nervous as hell. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm up the night before. I'm looking at 100 YouTube wedding videos. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm looking at it, jotting down notes and this at the third, and I was like, you know what, man, I gotta believe in myself like I do with these, regular music videos. So I
Right.
went in and did the thing, man, and so to me, I just like I said, I feel like I had that faith in myself to go ahead and do it. Like if I could do the music videos, I could do a wedding easily, you know.
Right.
So I just gotta had to go in and just have that um, a good head about it going into it. So that's kind
Yeah.
of my definition of that. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody has a, you know, maybe something else in their life that, you know, that they can go off of. But for me, that was mine as far as, you know, that goes, you
Right.
know, and, you know, so yeah. Yeah.
I
What about
mean,
you?
having faith, um, I think, man, that pours into everything that a man is. You know what I mean? You think about it. We wake up every day. You know what I mean? We leave the house. We leave our families, wives, kids, pets, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever you love, you leave it at home or you leave it somewhere else, and you literally have enough faith that you're gonna make it back home that day. I mean, that's the world we live in, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Is that
definitely.
I have to have enough faith. Every time I see a police car, bro, I may not have nothing. I feel like I got a whole bunch of illegal stuff on me. Like I feel like I got about 10 breaks in the trunk when I see the boys. I'll be like, what do I have? Why am I wearing this chain? Start tucking necklaces.
Yeah,
I'm a Pickerington dude. You know what I mean? Like instantly, let me sharpen up.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, definitely, man.
Because this is
Yeah,
the
you see
world
out
that we
there with a
live
hoodie
in.
and chain, you're like, hold on,
Man, what?
he don't like he live in Pickerington, like
What? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And I feel like, you have to have enough faith. If I have to have enough faith to make it home to the really the most important things that I love, the most important things that I care about, then I definitely have to have enough faith to be able to create. Um, I
yeah,
have to have enough faith to be able to step out on the things that I believe in, outside of just, just really everything. I mean, like for real, like you really think about it, there's really nothing that I could think about in my life that I haven't had to step out of some type of boundary or get uncomfortable with something in the
yeah,
process to be better at what I needed to be better at. And so, for me, faith is really all things. You know what I mean? Like I really feel like faith is really all things. Like
yeah,
I have to have that belief setting in all areas of my life. And I feel like, just like how we talked about last episode, I'm doing the pod because of the fact, well, I want to be better at doing podcasts. So what's the best way to do it? Be consistent in it. You know what I mean? Not lag, not slack, and not think about the things that I can't do, but more so get into the things of why, the reasons why I need to be doing. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
making those things come full circle.
Yep, and you made it happen too with the podcast. So I was like, you caught wind of this program, and you hit me up and did the research, and next thing you know, we
Bro,
doing it. Like I'm
2 weeks
like, okay,
later.
oh, in the matter of weeks time, like like shit.
Hey, man, this is just a sidebar. Look, man, this is why I get this man so much kudos, because literally to deal with the patience that I probably, I was hitting dude up every day. Imagine somebody coming to you with a bright idea, and like they said, we're gonna execute it right now, and they're literally, almost like I had to step back. Did not do this, Kim. I stepped
Yeah,
back and I
yeah,
was like,
yeah,
hey, bro, I feel like I never even got your okay that you wanted to
yeah,
do this. You know what I mean? But it was the faith that I had inside, literally deep, like literally inside my heart, man, that made me just believe, like, yo, we've been looking for something to partner on for how long? You know
few
what I mean?
years.
Like,
Yeah,
if we've had enough faith to really take it that far as constructing ideas and different things that we could do, then man, the only thing that's missing is action.
yeah,
For real. That's the only
yeah,
thing missing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And so, when you think about it like that and you put it like that, I feel like faith is all things, man. Man, I got a quick question for you. How do you handle setbacks and failures when maintaining like your faith in the creative space?
Mm, that's a
Like
good one.
like how do you handle setbacks and failures while maintaining the same level? Like think about moments where um things just wasn't going so well. You know what I mean? You
Going,
didn't get
yeah,
you didn't
yeah,
get bookings, you know what I mean? Or the difference in the competition was equipment. You know what I mean? And it was, I couldn't stretch my penny that far to get that. Speak on
Yeah.
some. You got a moment like that you got that you could probably share with us?
Yeah, I'm sure I do, man. Let me see. Let's go back a little bit. Um, Again, I use this. I use the whole videography thing since that's kind of the what we're on. We're directors. We deal with stuff with camera. So I'm gonna just go
Right.
off of. So with me starting out, when I decided to get into full swing of learning the camera, it wasn't the fact that I didn't know how to operate it. It was the fact of trying to get clients. Um,
Mm.
um, Learning the camera to me was the easy part, which should be the hard part. But I found that the hard part was at first getting the clients. So what you have to do is, like you said earlier, stay consistent. I didn't let it bother me too much, but I was like, okay, the more content I put out, the more is gonna be recognized. So
Right.
I put myself out there, and doing so gets you the answers that you're looking for. It gets you to where you want to be.
Right.
So, with that being said, again, I stay consistent. I stay putting out content, and boom, I think I mentioned this in the first episode with you. Uh, the more I did that, somebody caught wind of that, and he ended up being one of the more popular. Had a buzz in the city, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
and then boom, I blew up from there. You know what I'm saying? So really, like if like sometimes with people, if like if things aren't going how the way that you wanted to, just keep going, don't stop. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people
Right.
who wanted to stop because their videos aren't looking as crispy. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't let that bother you. Just got to keep at it. You know what I'm saying? My stuff wasn't the crisp, at first either. I'm
Right.
sure yours wasn't either. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
it's
I was
like
shooting with a Nikon D5100. I know it wasn't.
so yeah, man. So it's just like I've come across a lot of people who's like, man, I think I'm gonna just stop because my stuff ain't looking that crispy. But again, you just gotta keep at it, man. And that's
Right.
kind of not my story with that whole thing, man. Just keep going, man. So what? I mean, you're gonna get it. Like my color grading was trash. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like my stuff was flat as hell, in the beginning. You know
Man.
what I'm saying? And now that was the hardest. That was the last thing that I needed to learn was color grading. Everything else I had on deck. The chops to the effects, the what I'm saying, listening to how the beat moves and maneuvers around.
Right.
But that color grading, nigga, I suck. But
Bro, you talking about you, bro. I was out here shooting ProRes RAW, shooting 16 to 18 stops of that, bro, and couldn't grade a thing.
uh, that's funny, man. Yeah, cause
Dog, when I
you
say I
came in
couldn't
like
grade a thing, man, I couldn't grade a thing, bro. It was it
that's
was it
crazy.
was ridiculous, man. For sure.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, man. So yeah, and I finally learned it, and that's my favorite thing now. Outside of the whole you know editing and and chopping up effects, like color grade to me, that's what really sets the tone of your video, man. Whether it's a
Yeah.
movie, music video, whatever. What I'm saying? Forget all the fancy effects. What I'm saying? I feel like that color is gonna put you in like, okay, I see where he's going with this. What I'm saying? That,
Right.
to me, it helps sell the story. So yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's crazy, man. Look, keep the faith, be consistent, be persistent. Don't let nothing stop you. You know what I mean? That's the whole purpose of this journey is to really just keep going. Like man, you think about it. I seen something on IG that said that the average billionaire is like 60 something years old. You know what I mean? Like you're like
Yeah,
60
yeah.
something years old. You know what I mean? Like the average millionaire is in their 50s. Like this ain't like we acting like, not, trust me, if God wants you to have it at the time that he wants you to have it, then you're gonna have it, right? But at the end of the day, it just gets to the point to where you just gotta keep going, man. Even those guys, man. The people that are the
Yeah.
most successful, they know that I don't stop. Never stop. You know what I mean? Never stop going. Because of the fact, at the end of the day, man, it's gonna pay off in some type of dividend. Hard
Yeah.
work don't go unanswered. You know what I mean? Hard work don't go unanswered. Hard work beat talent 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
You
You're
know what I
right.
mean? And so,
I agree with that.
if people really, look at that and really, kind of hear that, I think that would be dope, man. That was a great talk, bro, with my dog, man. I feel like we really tapped into something there.
Mm-hmm.
I before I bring on our guest, man, this dude super special to me. Somebody that I've known for a very long time in so many different like ways, like pockets. Like it's like family here. And then I grow up and then it's like, I get cool with, Yavez or somebody. Oh, they know Aaron, you know what I mean? And I started seeing
Yeah.
him around so many different people. And so, like I said, that's the reason why it's special for me, because I feel like we both was kind of growing, going really the same path, you know what I mean? And obviously having our own different, roadblocks, setbacks, different things that we have in our own lives. But, to see where we're both at today, you know what I mean, means something amazing to me. Before I bring him on, I want to read off his bio, like always. Man, Aaron LaRoy. Man, I said
Yeah.
his
Because he
name,
pronounced his name
bro.
wrong
I
last week.
swear I don't know why it just rolls off the tongue like LaRoy. I don't know why. LaRoy, Aaron LaRoy. All right.
That's
It is
funny.
often said, I want to lead on the highest level. Be if you want to lead on the highest level, be willing to serve on the lowest. While many long to be celebrated, only a few identify and accept the call to serve. For one Ohio native, service is the foundation in which he plans to build his legacy. As a graduate of the Ohio State University Fisher College of Business, Aaron Hollingsworth wasted no time in pursuing his destiny. Prior to receiving his degree, Aaron began exercising his gifts early on, which presented him the opportunity to work with corporations such as Coca-Cola, General Motors, Limited Brands, and Sony Music. Mr. Hollingsworth's unique musical talents also placed him before the likes of music industry's top recording artists, including Jamie Foxx, Bow Wow, Leandra Johnson, Kiki Sheard, and many more. Even with such accolades attached to his resume, Aaron realized his greater call was more important. In 2006, he co-founded a music production company called Royal Priesthood Entertainment, LLC, now known as 29 Entertainment, as a medium to spread the gospel of Christ. And in 2014, he founded a clothing line entitled Souls Over Sales. In 2017, Aaron established a marketing firm, LaRoy Creative Group, where his team provides services such as branding, marketing, digital content, and consulting for firms. LaRoy Creative Group has helped to bring to life the visions of artists, entrepreneurs, small and large businesses alike. Levi, GQ, Tamar Braxton, and Global AME Church are just a few of the many clients Aaron has worked alongside. In 2017, he also directed a short film called Abolitionist, hopefully I said that right, which won Best Homegrown Film at the Black International Film Festival. There is no limit to what future holds for this aspiring dreamer. With a genuine heart to serve his community and to make a difference in the lives of others, Mr. Hollingsworth is not trying to become a man of success, but rather a man of value. I want to go ahead and also talk about his brand, which is the LaRoy Creative Group. LaRoy Creative Group is a content creation company based in Columbus, Ohio. We are a team of creatives and visionaries dedicated to transforming concepts into reality through the medium of visuals, sound, and print. Without further ado, I want to bring on the man himself, Mr. Aaron LaRoy. Yes, sir. What's going on, family?
What's going on, family? I appreciate y'all. Man, it's such a joy to be on here. Thank you, man. I'm truly
Yeah.
elated. Honestly, I am. And I gave you grace because you messed up my name. I said there's grace for you, so it's love. Because
I
every
appreciate that.
everybody thinks it's like everybody thinks it's Lil Leroy, and I'm like, nah, it's actually Lil Roy. So, nah, we
I didn't
good.
say Leroy. See, Leroy a little
You
off-putting.
did.
I can understand. I
It
gave you
is.
I gave you a little bit of swag, like a little French to your name, LaRoy.
You you did. And I appreciate that. Like I got a nice little ring to it.
Yeah, LaRoy's barbecue. I don't know. It just sounds like something that go fire at a cookout, man.
It does. It really does.
My dog, man, my
Ray,
dog.
I love you.
It's been a pleasure, man, just watching your journey. It's been a pleasure just seeing you grow from. And this is the crazy thing. I feel like I know you, but I never really knew you, right? Like I knew people like my cousin Kenny, Kenny and Brandon and all them. They knew you, from church growing up. So that's how I kind of connected with you. And then, outside of that, just seeing just the work and the progression. I mean, like all the content and all the things that you're doing, not just as an entrepreneur, but for your city and for your community as well, is just amazing, man. How's life been for you? You know what I mean, as a creative, and how's life just been for you as a father? Not father. You ain't got no kids. I got kids. I keep putting a lot of things on my man today. I put a wife and a girlfriend on him earlier. He had to hit me with the response like, hey fam, I don't have no wife or no girlfriend. And then I just put kids on him. I ain't speaking that into your life, but how's life been, family?
Nah, man. First, again, I want to say thank you, man. And it's been a privilege even watching you like mature to see where we both started from. You know, what I mean, I don't say that out of hyperbole. I really mean that, man. It's been an honor and a privilege watching you start where you started and then where you are now. Like you can
Thank you.
see literally the evolution, and we don't have to hype each other up. That's the truth. And I just want to say I want to give you your flowers because I'll be looking at your stuff like, wow, like man, I remember when you started with this. I remember we will inbox each other and call each other, hey, what do you think about this, man? Or
Yeah.
like this color grading. Somewhere y'all was talking about the color grading. I remember I started with the T3i, like the old boy Canon, the Rebel. Like I
Yeah,
keep that
yeah.
just
Yeah.
because to know where it all started. So man, I'm really am grateful because honestly, like it's been nothing but God. Like I'm doing really better than I deserve. And when I think about where I'm at now, I think even Kimber was just talking about that. Like, sometimes like you have to look back and realize how faithful for me, at least how God has been through my journey and every step of the way, whether it be from creativity to entrepreneurship. Like I know that God had a destiny for me, but He also told me that it will come with trial and tribulations. But He also encouraged me, like, you know what, you could be of a good cheer, for I have already overcome this world. So when we talk about faith, like even when the trials come, I know God promised me in His Word that He has given me enough faith that we can't overcome it because He already overcame. So,
Amen.
um, and I think about,
That's dope.
I think about, yeah, you said something about like what happens when you run into a situation of hardship and hard times, and I think as creative, a lot of times our visions will be tested for authenticity. And I realize when challenges come, it doesn't come to stop our vision, it comes to test our vision. So if we fold at the very essence of every hardship or trial, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is this an authentic vision that came from above or something that I should be doing? Because again, challenges will arise. And again, it doesn't come to stop it, it just comes to test it.
Hmm. That's good. That's good. That's a whole bar right there. That's
Hmm.
a whole bar right there. For real. For real. It's crazy how you talk about just how it comes to really like faith is always tested, right? You know what I mean? Like I feel like soon as I say I'm gonna stop doing something, that's when I get tested the most. To like patience, perseverance, consistency. If I say I'm going to be better in it, I literally start getting tested in it like next day. Um, how can faith act as a source of inspiration during challenging times in the creative journey? And like, give me an example of just like a moment that you might have went through that you really had to channel faith, and that was like really the only thing you could lean on for inspiration.
Absolutely. And you know, a part of my journey and my story, you seen like the situation with my father. You know, a lot of people don't know, but my father had got diagnosed with Alzheimer's when we were about 11 years old. So it's me, my brother, my mother, and my father ended up passing away back in 2009. So for about 10, 11 years, we had to take care of my father. Like literally, I seen my father pass away in our own house. And you talk about something that would test and shake your faith. The very person who meant everything to me, you know, this was an individual where every day I had to wake up and retell him my name because with the disease with Alzheimer's, it 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 the individual begins to deteriorate their mind, so their mind begins to deteriorate. So
Mm-hmm.
every day, me and my brother had to remind our father who we were. So like
Mm-hmm.
that was tough. Imagine as a young boy, you know, where those critical ages as a teenager, as a young adult, where identity, because I believe identity comes from the father. So
Mm-hmm.
not having the identity from my father caused me growing up to be a lot of different things that I didn't want to be. And seeing my mom have to go through heartbreak, you know, the man that she loved, that she gave her life to, the woman who didn't run out when times got
Right.
hard, but she honored her vows. You know, she
Mm-hmm.
was committed to him
Mm-hmm.
all the way until again he took his last breath. So you, when I saw that and when that was robbed from me, I didn't know who I was because that was the I just knew by faith, man, like God was going to heal my father. I knew by faith, I knew he was going to pull through. But what happens when you're angry at the heavens? You know, it's one thing
Mm-hmm.
to be mad at people or friends, maybe your relationships, but what happens when you're mad at the heavens?
Right.
And that took me a long time. That question took me a long time to answer. And as much as I have heard about God, knew His Word, I was not prepared for the aspect of what it would done to lose my father. But it was like in those darkest days, it's craziest. I felt like God Himself reached down and became the Father for me. He said, I
Mm-hmm.
always have been your father. So when we
Mm-hmm.
have talk about faith, I had to trust in him to know that again, we said faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of
Right.
things not seen. I didn't know what my life was going to look like 5 months from there. I wanted to give up. Like this is where I went on a whole journey of just alcohol abuse, drug abuse, the whole nine perversion. But then literally when God began to speak to me, he said, I have always been your father. Although I removed your physical father from this realm to a different realm, doesn't mean I haven't always been committed to you. And once I realized that there was a purpose way bigger than myself, and
Mm-hmm.
again, that purpose is to be a son and to
Mm-hmm.
know God. That's when my life changed, and that's when things again it didn't become easier, but my faith began to grow because I knew that my life was not my own. Like I didn't create my life. Like God used my parents to create me, but ultimately my life belongs to Him. And when I put my faith and my trust in Him, that's when things began to be enlightened. Like that's when I began to really see the things we talk about, like things like happening and coming forth, and destinies
Right.
and purposes being fulfilled. And I had to trust that process, but the process was difficult. But I always believe that once you lean in, you can lean on. And that's just kind of where I anchor my spirit and my soul every day to know that like there is a God that sits above all of this, and he looks
Mm-hmm.
down and he desires to know, like, you know what, you're my son. Like, and if I take care of the birds and the bees, what not better would I take care of you, so I could rest in that reassurance because of who he is. And that's what happened.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's a whole testimony. Um, I think one thing that stands the test of the time is how much faith you do put into the things that, and how much faith you do get out of situations. Right. I feel
Mm,
like some situations we're put in, it's not really for us. Like we didn't choose the situation. A lot of the situations, like, why would I want this? Right. You know what I mean? But
right.
it's like faith activates itself only
Yes.
when you in doubt. Like faith
Exactly.
activates itself when you're in doubt. And to
Mm-hmm.
think
Mm-hmm.
about, just a story about how you had to handle that with your father. I lost my mother when I was 12. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know, like, even as a young boy, to grow up as a man and to not really be able to think of moments I had with my mom. Like, you know, like I'm a whole grown man. I'm 33 years old. I got grandkids. I mean, not grandkids. I got kids. My kids better not have no kids.
I just
I'm like,
She
whoa,
got
wow.
grandkids. That boy on something.
Wow.
Nah. She got grandkids, and I gotta kind of like explain to them, you know what I mean, certain things about how, you know, I sometimes it's hard, you know what I mean. The best gift that I was given was from my grandfather, and he gave me this like hard drive. I actually have it right here. It's this hard drive, and it has like all types of videos of my mother on there. And very rare do I pop that thing in and really watch it. You know what I mean? Mainly because you know that takes a whole nother. It just takes a whole nother. You know, I gotta take time for that. You know, I need the house clear. You know what I mean? I take the kids somewhere. I need to be able to have my moment, but just to think about how much faith it took as a 12-year-old to really like say, this is life now, right? And what is life going to constantly be? People always ask me, why are you so forward thinking, E? Why do you always like think about the future? Like I tell people all the time, I tell people by the time I'm 30, I want to be an entrepreneur and not working for nobody. I've been saying that since I was 18. When I turned 30, Verizon said, we are giving out as severance. Do you want to leave? And at the time, I was like, my wedding business was starting to pick up and things was going, and I did it and I left. You know what I mean? And you know, people, you know, but that mustard seed to even have faith to say 10 years from now I'm gonna do this. I always felt like I had to be thinking the forward. My mom passed away when she was 37. You know what I mean? I'm 33 right now. That's young. The older I get, the more and more I realize how young she was. You know what I mean? And when I really try to channel all that in, I really start thinking like, dang. Like I was always forward thinking because I wanted to have enough faith to say I'm gonna be here 10 years from now.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? Like even now, I set 10-year goals and 15-year goals. Like me and my wife, we celebrate our 10-year anniversary next year. And
congratulations.
And she's like, what's next after 10 years? And I was like, 25. Why? Because my mind is just instantly like, nah, we're gonna add another 15 more onto there. And it'll be here before we know it. You get what I'm saying? And you know, just like that faith, man, it has to come from someplace. And I think that's one of the things that we're learning here is that, you know, you have to learn how to look deep down inside yourself and really like be real with yourself to know where you need to pull your faith from and where you need to activate some faith in your life. Because sometimes we just walk around here and we just ain't activating nothing. We just like, you know, we just living. we say we living in some promise and some glory, but we really not acting on the faith that we should be acting on. And so, you know.
Absolutely. Nah, and to your point, like that's true because I realize in hardship or like I realize that pain, one thing about pain, it's neither right or wrong. It's just real. And I think
That's a
once
bar.
I began to understand that and I realized like what is pain teaching me where comfort couldn't. That's one thing about pain. It will teach you things where comfort can't, because when we get comfortable, like sometimes we're not aware of like what may be happening, what may be going on. But when painful situations come up, it will really show you where you are and where your faith lies. And I realized a lot of times in my life, my painful experience didn't allow me to lie on God, Christ, for what he did for me. Like I relied on my own strength. And then it put me in a deeper depression, put me in a deeper turmoil. And then I had to realize I cannot do this on my own. I'm not the creator of my own life. So I have to go back to the source. Like, you know, I had to go back to like who made me, like again, in my car, I got an Acura, right? So like whenever I need a manufacturer, I'm not going to take it to Ford. They're not the manufacturer. Like, although they may have the knowledge and the insight to how cars work overall, that manufacturer knows the intricate details of how that car was made, how it was distributed, what's in it. So I realized when painful situation, not even painful situation, just in life, I have to go back to the actual manufacturer of who made me. And again, he always shows me I'm showing you something, because if every time I remove you from painful situations, then you will never know me as healer. And I had to trust God through that process. Like, man, he's teaching me how to trust him as a healer, and that's where it's like, wow, like, because every time he jumped in, I would never trust him.
Right.
That's why faith is like literally faith means God can, and trust is will God.
Right.
Like, it's a difference. Like, man, will God? And it's like,
Right.
yes, because he's a good father. So, no, I'm just saying, like, I agree. Like, it has to be anchored somewhere. And like you said, my faith is just anchored in something beyond myself. And again, that's to the God that I believe in Jesus Christ, like, who has anchored me in his faith. And like I said, I'm so thankful, because if it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. And like you said, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm doing. If I be honest
Yep.
with you, E, like, sometimes I don't even know what I'm like. I don't know. Sometimes who my next client is going to be. Like, I don't even have,
Right.
like, to this day, we just, like, for real, like, people think, like, how do you do this? I'm like, I really don't know. Like, I just got my first business card, like, last year. Like, and I've been in business almost 8-9 years. Like, and it's just like the word of mouth. And God was like, the trajectory that I have you on is a lot different from your peers. Like, I want you to really move by faith. And again, all the opportunities that have come my way, again, it's by God. And it's also been by the referrals of people. Like, I've never put advertising on my business. I've never had to go out and be like, yo, let me, like, can I do this for you? Like, they kind of just fell in my lap. And that's why I feel like what's for me is for me. So, and again, sometimes that it does take faith, but at the same time, I do put the work in. Like, I try to be dedicated in my craft. I tell young people all the time, like, no, become skillful. And you said, like, with Verizon, they were asking for a 7th grade. That was like me. Like, I was working at a nonprofit. And before I took that leap of faith to start my own business, I had just got demoted from that same job I was at. And I couldn't understand for the life of me what happened. I've never been demoted, was never, like, always top tier employee. So I thought, so when this happened, I was like, what is going on? But I know I always had a dream and a vision to work for myself, to be creative. And they offered me, like, they demoted me, and then they offered me a huge promotion, like 80-90 racks. And I walked away to pursue LaRoy Creative Group, and here we are. So sometimes, again, like, you have to just have faith, because without faith, the scripture says it's impossible to please the Lord. So it's like, man, Lord, I want to please you. I don't know what's going to happen. This 90,000 sound real good right now in Columbus, Ohio. You could do a lot with 90K in Ohio. And I was like, I'm about to jump into something where I have nothing. I'm like, Lord, I got to trust you, but I know, like, purpose and destiny was calling it. So I jumped by faith, and here we are on a podcast with on the director's den. You feel me?
Hey, it's lit. It's lit.
Hey, so
It's lit.
with that being said, man, so there's some of the content where they're like, you said you have people coming to you now. You said you didn't have any business cards. Can you kind of tell us what it is that your I guess what your venture is? What, like, as far as, like, what is it? The clothing, or the more the content creating type of thing? Can you kind of give us a brief thing on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the hard thing, right? Because you hear people all the time say that, man, you should focus on one thing,
Yeah.
do that, master that well. And I believe that. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that. But as a creative, this is just me. I'm not saying this is for anybody else, but, like, I could not stay dormant on just one thing. Like, I love everything creative, because when we think about the word creative, it's really about solving problems. I think even the word creative is limited. To a certain degree. So I'm like, I like to dibble in fashion. Fashion is a big component of who I am. So I said, how do I mix the two worlds together? And because I realized, like, 55% of communication is nonverbal. So how I dress, people already have a viewpoint. So therefore, like, without me saying anything, my presentation is just as important as my delivery. So I said, like, I want to be not only looked apart, but I want to be set apart. So I could be looked apart, but am I set apart? And that's where those hours of putting the work in, not looking for the glory right away. I think a lot of times in a generation, we want to be so quick to throw things up on Instagram, TikTok for likes and for validation. And for me, that's where I was like, what am I really doing it for? Like, at the time, I was doing it for, like, I want to be the best. I want everybody to see me. But then I realized, like, no, like, I'm content. Like, I want to do this because, like, I believe God has called me to do this, but I also want to serve well. Like, And I know if whatever I do, like the Bible says that I'm thinking about the scripture where it says, if you be faithful over a few things, he'll make you ruler over much. So if I could be faithful over the few things, then I know he'll make me ruler over much. And I remember a speaker, a pastor once said, like, whatever you mismanage, you lose. So I had to learn how to manage different things well. So on certain days, I only focus on my fashion line because I know that's something that I love to do. And I realized sometimes my number two thing will give me ideas for my number one thing. So if content, LaRoy Creative Group is the thing that's my bread and butter, sometimes I will just draw, create, sketch designs for my fashion, but it will give me a creative idea for the main thing. So when people say like, oh, just focus on one thing, yes, it's true. But for me, sometimes I get inspiration by doing the other 3 or 4 things that God has gifted me for that will lead to my number one to be successful. So I just realized like I have to learn how to be a good steward and management of my time in order to be effective.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I like the way you put that. Yeah, because when you say that you have to, so you have basically two things. One thing is going to probably help you with the other, and vice versa. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with having
Yeah.
to dibble and dabble in a couple different things for sure.
Yeah, and it's not easy though. Like I won't say like it's the easiest thing. Sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes like I don't want to give up. Like man, none of this is working. But I had to go back to my why, you know.
Right,
And
right.
once I remember my why, that is so much bigger than me. Like I really want to leave a legacy. When I talk about the clothing line, I'm not sure if we'll talk about it later. But even with Souls Over Sales, of why did I start this? Where was this birth? Again, the whole purpose of this is to really house the marginalized, those who have been left behind. I want to build houses for them that, it's cold in Columbus. So I want to be able to house these individuals who don't have much. So I have to remember, like, why did I start? Why did God give this to me? And sometimes, like, you may have to spend a little more hours on a particular day in order for, that thing to get its attention. And like I said, some days it's hard, some days it's not. But I'm learning now, and now with resources, I'm able to delegate that because I was faithful and committed to the main thing first. I did that well. I stewarded that well. So now God could open opportunities that I could steward my next venture well as well. So again, it's not easy though. I'm not gonna sit up on this podcast and act like it's all good. It's been a piece of cake. No, it's been hard work. It's been a lot of, I'm preaching to the choir. Like, I don't know about y'all. Like, I was just telling my friend last week, I was ready to throw in the towel. Like, man, I do not want to deal with this. I lost 2 of my friends the week before. And that's the thing, because at least with, when people work a 9 to 5 or in corporate America, you may get some bereavement time or some time off. But when you are working for yourself, sometimes these clients don't care. Like they may have sympathy, but they don't have empathy for you. It's like,
Right.
oh, we're sorry that happened, but we still need our work.
Yeah,
Where's the demand? And sometimes I have to take care of my mental well-being, because at the end of the day, if I'm not well, none of this matters. So I said, I'm going to take control of my mental health and know, like, you know what, I need a break. This is a lot for me right now. Like, I actually want to process this, because I don't want to be burnt out, and I don't want to go off or do things that are unbecoming or who aren't me or what God desires. So sometimes, like, you know what, I'm hurting right now, and that's okay. And for me as Black men, I never had that opportunity to express that, to know like
Right.
it's okay not to be okay. It's okay. It's okay to express the tears and the pain that you feel of losing someone you care about. And I remember somebody told me, he said, if you think crying is a sign of weakness, then you never known strength.
Mm,
And I thank God for my tears now, because I know that's strength.
mm. Yo, that's
facts.
that right there speaks on not just faith, but also relationship with God, and also making sure that you staying tapped in and in tune with that too as well. That's a whole nother podcast. My boy on here preaching though.
My
Man,
boy,
I
he
want to.
said it's about faith. You can't get me on here.
Hey, my boy. That's why I brought you on here, bro. Because I mean, this is one thing, bro. One thing people want to know about me, man. I'm big on, bro, being that middle child. You know what I mean? I like to be around people that I can teach and that I can be taught by. You know what I mean? And you one of those people, man. And that's one of the reasons why you on here, man. This is a space that gives creatives that place to be able to have your voice. You know what I mean? And let your voice be heard. We all come from different angles, avenues, you know, different streets, states, cities. You know what I mean? We all got different perspectives, mindsets. You know what I mean? And you know, we just want to make sure that everybody is really just being heard, man, and you know, being able to
Absolutely.
voice, you know, how they feel about certain things that are going on in the industry. Because man, this thing is a journey, man. We talked about this last week, Kev.
Woo.
You know, man,
Yep.
the journey, you know, and trusting the journey and really embodying the journey and making sure that it's everything that you want. You know, speaking on journey and then speaking on faith, I seen a video that I seen on your page, and I thought it was really dope. I wanted to share it with our with our fans and our subscribers, man. And quick pause, you know, make sure y'all go down there, click that subscribe button. You know what I mean? Hit that like, run it up for us, man. It's the Directors Den
Hey.
podcast with KFC and friends. You already know how we get down. And I'm still sipping on my Prime, man. Make sure y'all go get y'all one, man, at the nearest store near y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this video, man. This video was it's a real fire, man. And then when we bring you back on, man, I'd love to just hear the concept and what kind of went behind that, and then we'll go into Souls Over Sales, man, because I'm really interested in that too as well. Because that's something that you had to relaunch, and I feel like that's critical. So let me go ahead and drop this real quick.
What do you say when someone questions your work or questions your worth? I say nothing. Show them your drive.
All right, man. So you know, looking at that, man, that's a whole joint, man. From you know, it's like an Acura commercial, man. That was pretty lit. Kind of go into the process about that and kind of, you know, how that came about and maybe, you know, the mindset behind that.
Man, honestly, that was during COVID, and I was sitting around the house bored because we were locked in, and I was like, I never shot a car commercial, so I wanted to shoot a car commercial, and that's literally what we did. So I called up my brother Darnell. Shout out to him. He's another adult creative here in the city. Hit up his sister, actually, Constance Dees, and my brother Gabe, and we literally went out there. I never shot a car commercial. I think we just had brought a gimbal. I think the R1 was just out. The Ronin 1 was just out. I think we had just got that. Never shot it at all. But I said, you know, talking about faith, I said it would be dope to shoot an Acura commercial and then present it to Acura. And that's what we did. So we shot it in the weekend. I edited everything down in that same weekend. And then I presented it to Acura. And we actually had a couple contracts with Acura, and then like COVID hit, but it kind of messed up the plans. But we actually did some work with them, like a couple of things went off with them. They were so blown away by the process. So sometimes you just gotta create. If you're not having to sit at the table, sometimes you gotta create the table, and that's what we did. We created the table, and I showed where we could add value because I saw some of their commercials that weren't the national Acura commercials, where I was like, oh, I believe we could do that. Again, we never shot a car commercial. We did it in that whole weekend. And then literally like COVID kind of messed things up, but like we were able to still work with them on a couple projects that were a couple one-offs. And it was just like, wow, like again, a concept out of boredom, COVID led to opportunity. So I always think again forward, like what can I do? How can I add value? Where do I bring my expertise, my team and I to do that, to solve a problem for people? And that's what we want to do. And we just have fun. Literally, that was my car, the same car I got now, what I was just telling about, like, and we just shot it. I was like, wow, let's see what comes about it. And again, it stretched my creativity because a lot of times I was just getting bored with the mundane things that I was doing. So I hate being locked in or caged in to red tape. So I said, let me do something outside my box that's for me, whether it hits or not. It's just something that keeps my mind sharp, keeps my skill set sharp. And that's what we did. And we created that, and it got us opportunity. So, and to this day, we're still in contact with Acura to this day, and we got some. I can't really say anything, but there might be some opportunities coming up in the near future with them to do some more projects. So yeah, that was back in 2020. Bored at home during COVID. We shot a car commercial.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It looked good too, man. I like that.
Thank you. That means a lot. And shout out to my brother Cam Bino, who's a rapper. He put the whole audio. I was like, hey, can you put some some of your
All
prolific
the
words
effects
behind
and
this,
stuff.
and he did that.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's dope, man. Just to see, just to think, you know, COVID, man. You know, I was told this, that they said that if you didn't survive COVID as a creative, then you robbed yourself.
Mm,
And it was because you had so
yeah,
much time on your hands, man. The internet is powerful, right? And I mean, you think
Yeah,
about it,
absolutely.
podcasts became a thing in COVID.
Yep.
sure did.
Yep.
DJing on live. Live was dead for real before that. I mean, think about it. Nobody was
Facts.
going live. I mean, only, you know, maybe some cornball here and there. I don't know. But nobody was going live. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, bro, you get a lot of black people at home by themselves, bro. Like, we gonna figure out something to do. You feel me?
Oh,
And
we're gonna figure out something.
you seen the birth of like creatives. And we talking about creatives that, you know, man, it just seemed like creatives just came out the woodwork. It seemed like people were just really stepping outside of the boundaries. For you as a creative, what was something, what was your biggest, I guess, step outside of your boundary far as creating when it came down to, you know, during COVID or even post-COVID? You know what I mean? Is there something that really stretched your imagination or your vision or your dream during those moments, and did you achieve it?
Yeah, like that's a good question. There was what really changed like the trajectory of how I even thought about creativity and videography, because again, for the longest, I knew it was purpose behind it. I knew like um there was there was some type of element where I knew like my visuals, that the talent that God has given me was going to make an impact.
Right.
I didn't know to the depths of it until this situation happened where I was filming at this poetry night. There used to be this poetry night. Shout out to my brother Cornell, called Dear Poetry, and you would have poets from, you know, local poets and then creatives even outside of that come to um, this event, and they would showcase their talent. And I was doing a recap video for it, and there was this lady, God bless her soul. She passed away now. Her name was Sister Lynn, and she was an
Mm.
older lady, and she had a breathing machine. And man, I'm getting choked up even thinking about it. And she said, you know what, I haven't done poetry in a while because I was embarrassed because I walk around with this breathing machine and there's so many gifted people. Uh, I just feel like my dreams had no purpose and no identity. And I still recorded her during that time period. And in the editing process, I didn't like the shot personally. I was like, you know how it is, like, man, this doesn't fit with the aesthetics, and I
Right.
was kind of frustrated. But I felt God literally tug at my heart, said, "No, she needs to be in that." And I was like, "But Lord, like I don't feel like it's not aesthetically pleasing to me though." And He said, "Put it in there." So I
Right.
put it in there. We released the video. Unbeknownst to me, a couple of weeks later, she comes to church and she's crying her heart out. I was like, and she hugs me, and she was like, "You have no idea what that meant." And I'm like, "Well, what meant?" She said, "I saw the recap video." And she said, "And I
Mm.
saw me in it for the
Wow.
first time." And
Wow.
bruh, when I tell y'all, like, that very moment, it changed how I view everything. I realized
Mm.
I'm not just capturing good content, I'm capturing the glory of God, and I'm telling His story in real time to get
That's
permission
crazy.
for people to dream again. She said, like, I dreamed again. So now when no matter what I do, like, I always had a passion. I knew there was purpose behind it.
Mm.
I didn't understand the depths of the why until that happened. So everything I do, every frame, every second, every music, every vocal, every time relapse, every effect, it's meaningful because there's great purpose behind that. And she said, it has given me permission to dream again, and I'll never forget
Mm.
that. That's what changed my life, to know like, oh, it ain't just about putting cool effects together or getting the bag or running the money up. No, like you're actually impacting and changing lives that people could dream with me again.
That's that's amazing. Is that what birthed Souls Over Sales? And did that birth Dreaming with Dreamers? because it sounds
No.
like that birth dreaming with dreamers. I mean, that right there is enough to put to go ahead and push out twins on
No,
dreaming.
that's
For real.
no. So I guess I start with so. Hey, you funny? That's hilarious. No, but it made me realize that too. Going back to that aspect, like man, like I feel like I'm the guy with 5 talents, and God is asking for a return on those 5 talents. Like, yeah, some people could do 1 or 3 things, but I've given you multiple ones. What are you gonna do with that? How are you gonna steward that well? So the speak with Souls Over Sales. Souls Over Sales started back in 2014. I just resurrected this back in 2021. And it started out literally us doing homeless outreach with our church at Hope City House of Prayer. And this homeless guy, he said something that changed my life forever. He said, I appreciate y'all coming out, praying for us and giving us food, but y'all about to go back home to your nice warm houses and be comfortable. And yo, when he said that, I was like, he right. I drove back on 670 East and I cried like, dang, like, God, like I wish I had $1 million because I would build these people homes right here.
Right.
And the next day I was still working at the time. Literally, the vision came to me like souls over sales, people over profit. And that whole barcode with the X on it, I wrote it down. I still have that. I drew the logo on a yellow sticky note. Like I got so many yellow sticky notes, like that I'm gonna turn into a whole book because that's all I did when I was at work. I would literally dream, write down things, listen to podcasts like this, get inspired by other people. Because I always say, one man's thoughts is another man's awakening. So when I hear people's thoughts, like it could awaken me, and that's all I did. And then I saw that, and literally that next, I think a couple months in December. So that next year, so it was at the end of 2013, 2014 is when we established the brand, and we print up 100 shirts. Man, we sold out on them like that. And that's how the brand was birthed. And then I went through my own struggles, life issues, put the brand down. We resurrected it back in 2021. And I said, I just can't come back with some regular t-shirts. Everyone got a clothing line now. Like literally,
Look
this
at
is
that
before
jacket.
Instagram was like Instagram. Like, no, appreciate it. Like,
yeah, look at that jacket. My
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the jacket. I was like, yeah,
that jacket fire, bro. I need one of them. I already hit you in the DM, told you, bro. Hey, look, I need one ASAP.
I got you. So I did this collaboration. This is a joint collaboration with my brother Tank with his brand called Living in Transition. And like literally that's what happened. So when I felt, again, here we are doing things nervous or afraid, because a lot of times you could, sometimes for me, I speak for myself, I would just limit myself and say, I'm not good enough. There's too many other brands out there. It's oversaturated. What place do I have? So I sat on like this brand for 8 years. It was dormant. Nothing happened. Again, knowing God gave me the vision, but again, like because challenges came, it only came not to deter, but to test it. Is this really authentic? And at the time, it was, and it still is. But like I gave up on it because of the challenges, and I didn't know how to walk through endurance. And if anything, I could say to people listening to this, like if one thing I could say to any young people, like endure the hard times. Like challenges are going to come. This is what makes and separates the people who are good and people who are great. Those who can endure until the end. So I said, you know what? I'm going to come back out, but I couldn't come back out with regular t-shirts. So I came out with a varsity jacket. And I'm like, people ain't going to buy $300 varsity jackets to a brand that's older. You know, Instagram is Instagram now. You can buy, you can shop online. I had to get it out the mud. I was going to shops, pop-up shops, like, you know, trying to get consignment with stores. Like I come from the old school. So like the hustle was already in me. So I'm like, man, I don't know all the ins and outs with advertising. And God was just like, man, do what I've called you to do, because whatever I demand, I already deposited. I was like, okay, I'm going to say yes. Good. And we created our first varsity jacket, and man, we sold out of it at $300. I was like, oh, okay, there's something to this. And every drop we did, we sold out most of all our drops. So that's how SOS was birthed. Thank you. So that's how Souls Over Sales was birthed. But our mission is to literally buy homes that we could house the marginalized and the disenfranchised, that they have a place to stay. So again, it's people over profit, and we want to give people the opportunity to know that they matter and that they care and that they're seen.
Yo, that's fire, bro. That's fire. That's fire, man.
Thank you.
You know, man, it's been I ain't gonna lie. I feel like this episode is just fire, bro. I feel like there was a lot of jewels, a lot of gems dropped. You
There was
know,
a whole
just
lot.
man, what a lot. I mean, and this just goes back to the power of, being able to, you know, receive information. I think that's one of the things that's like the hardest, for a lot of creatives to do, man, is to really come into these spaces and not just give information, but receive information. What can you take away from the conversation? You know what I mean? This is the director's den. You know what I mean? We like lights, we like cameras, and we like conversations. You know what I mean? And that's what it's about, because conversations not only expand our knowledge and help us grow in areas that we might be lacking in, but we can also bring something to the table. And I think you brought a lot to the table today, Aaron, man. I really appreciate you, bro, for just coming and spending the evening with us, man. I know it's been a hectic week for you, man. And I know, life is life, right? You know what I mean? And
Yep.
there's nothing we can do about that. But, at the end of the day, we can put our faith in God and, make sure that we're doing, our best every day to present ourselves and represent ourselves day in and day out, man. Any lasting words, man, that you would like to leave the audience with?
Man, I would just just encourage everyone just to know that, like, if God be for you, who could be against you? And I just lean on this passage that lean not into your own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. And we're talking about the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, man. He will direct it, and live by faith. Like, this whole episode was about living by faith. And the last words I'll leave you with from my brother Mike Red. Shout out to my brother. He said something so profound. He said, Aaron, he said, take risk so you can leave gaps for miracles. So that's how I live my life now.
Mm.
Take
And
risk so you can leave gaps for miracles.
take risks so you can leave gaps for miracles. Hey, man, Aaron, like I said, we appreciate having you on the show one last time, man. Definitely hit the horns for my guy. Man, it's
Love
been
you,
a
man.
pleasure, dog. I love you, dog. I'm praying for you. I'm always wishing you the best, man. And you can go ahead, man. Me and Kim gonna wrap this thing up, man. We appreciate having you this evening.
Appreciate y'all, brothers. Thank you so much, Kim. Thank you so much, E, man. I'm excited. Thank
You
y'all,
already
man.
know.
Yes,
Yep.
sir, man. Yes, sir.
Please.
Kim, my dog, bro. My
Man,
dog. How's it been,
he
bro?
dropped a lot.
Hey,
That's
bro. Like it was. I mean, it's just like when you think about it, bro. Just thinking about faith, and you think about how much that really ties into who we are as individuals. You know what I mean? Like that's really what it
yeah,
boils down to. It made me really start thinking about some things. You know what I mean? It made me start, maybe start analyzing some aspects and areas in my life. You know what I mean? That I might,
yeah,
be
definitely, man. It's
having some lacking areas.
yeah. Faith is like you said, it's everywhere. It's everything. It's not just one thing, man. And he definitely touched on that as well. I mean, shoot. I mean, heck, he turned down what'd he say? 80, 90 racks
Yeah,
to do what and that's if that ain't faith, I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, yeah.
So
And I
I
think
know
it
me,
goes
I
to
was like,
also
"Ooh, I don't know,
right, man. Like
but
depending on what part of life I was in, you
yeah.
know what I mean, because we all got them different phases. But I think it's always good when everything aligns and the timing is perfect, right? And in
Mm-hmm.
those moments, man, when you know without a doubt that it's the one, then there's nothing that makes you be shakeable.
Yeah, you just
There's
gonna do
nothing
it.
there's
Yeah.
nothing that's gonna shake you out of your position, right? You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
just know like there's no amount of money you can give me, that's gonna, make me sway this way or sway that way, man. I think, what I took from the episode, really, man, is just, stay true to yourself, you know what I mean? Stay true
Mm-hmm.
to what you believe in, and really like that has to come from a place that it's needed too. Faith has to come from a place that it's needed. You can't. I'm not gonna have faith in $100 that I already got. I got $100 in my pocket.
Yeah.
Faith has to come. It's only gonna show up when it's needed. And so, make sure y'all channeling y'all faith, man. Kim, I know you dropped a lot of gems, man. Go ahead and lead the people with something.
Hey man, I'm gonna just kind of go off of that, man. Just have faith in yourself and it and whatever it is that you're doing, man. If you have a goal, if you have some kind of vision, man, just go out and do it. I mean, that's just gonna get you to where you want to be, and like you said, I mean, you're gonna have some, like you got to take the risks in order to, you know, to
Right.
get things moving. And I mean, we all take some kind of risk for sure. So
Right.
yeah, man, just keep at it and keep moving. Those my words. Keep
Yeah,
moving.
yeah, keep moving, and also remember, he didn't just say that it just was like relied on just faith. It has to be some work there too, right? Like you got to be
Definitely.
willing to put the work in, and you got to be willing to invest in yourself, and you got to be willing to see the thing that people telling you. I mean, half the
Yep.
time, bro, you got people in your circle that's telling you, bro, I see you as this, man, you'll be a great this, great that. Like you got to start making those mental deposits for yourself. And until
Yeah.
you start making those mental deposits for yourself, you can't channel faith. But man, make sure y'all channel your faith, man. You already know what it is, man. Look, we do have our first badging ceremony, so in the exit, you will see the new badging. Aaron, thank you, man. We appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate
Aaron
you.
LaRoy.
LaRoy, man. Aaron LaRoy, man. Make sure y'all go follow him on IG. Make sure y'all go follow Souls Over Cells. Make sure y'all go follow Dreaming with Dreamers. Man, make sure y'all go follow his whole movement. Make sure y'all follow everything that he has going on, man. Dude is such a dope individual. And make sure y'all run this episode up. Make sure you click subscribe for all new content, man. We're going to be dropping a whole bunch of content this week, especially from this episode and episodes to come, man. And we got a lot more bangers. I think we got Wimbush next week, right?
Yes, sir. Wimbush next week, man. Y'all stay tuned for that, man. He's gonna be. We're gonna touch on a lot of different things, with that short amount of time. So it should be a good one for sure, man. We got some funny stuff that we'll probably touch on, a lot of different things.
Hey, we switching the hats around. Kim gonna be the host. I'm gonna be the co-host.
Yeah,
Indeed,
man,
man.
it might be like that for sure.
Indeed. Now let's just go ahead and do it, because that's my man's, but that's your man's for sure. So
Yeah,
I'm definitely looking forward. To Wimbush coming on set, man, and it's gonna be a good one. This one was a good one. I hope y'all really took away something today. You know what I mean? Like that was a lot. You know what I mean? That was I felt like I was kind of force fed faith today, but at the same time, man, it was good for my soul. It was good for everything that I got going and everything that I'm believing in too in my own world, man. Once again, our episodes are powered by Prime. Prime was developed to fill the void where great taste meets function, with bold and thirst-quenching flavors to help you refresh, replenish, and refuel. Prime is the perfect boost for any endeavor. We're confident you'll love it as much as we love it too, man. And until next time, make sure y'all go get y'all's Prime, man. I got mine. I got the ice pop.
I'm gonna go try it, man.
This
I'm gonna
baby
try
been
it.
kicking. Hey, it been kicking the whole show, man. I'm feeling like I'm on 10. I might work out. I got the punching bag back there. I might have to go get my
Okay, then.
Hey Kim, if your exercise ring go off on your watch and say I just ran 10 miles, just know it was powered by Prime. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed, man. Thank you, Aaron, for coming on, man. And until next time, y'all, stay up. We love y'all.
Yup.
And make sure you keep the faith.
Peace.
Yeah, alright, so that's it right there.